To live happily in old age, accept these 6 truths. Growing older peacefully does not come from pretending that nothing has changed. It comes from accepting reality and learning how to live well within it. The sooner you make peace with certain uncomfortable truths, the easier and more fulfilling your later years can become. Today, we will dive into 6 of these truths. They might sting a little at first. I won't lie to you, but I promise you they are not meant to discourage you. So, let's get started. 1. Your body will never be 25 again. This can be one of the hardest realities of aging. Strength may decline, energy may become less predictable, and activities that once felt effortless can require more time and patience. For someone who spent decades defining themselves through physical strength, hard work, or productivity, these changes can feel deeply personal. But the happiest older adults don't spend their lives trying to recreate their younger bodies. Instead, they learn to work with the body they have today. When you stop expecting an aging body to perform like a young one, the physical limitations don't necessarily disappear. What changes is the frustration surrounding them. Acceptance allows you to adapt instead of constantly fighting reality. 2. No one else is responsible for keeping you emotionally fulfilled. This truth can be painful. Your children may be busy with their own families and responsibilities. Friends have their own struggles. A partner may become distant or exhausted or may no longer be there. If you expect other people to constantly provide your emotional security, disappointment is almost guaranteed. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself in old age is learning how to become comfortable in your own company. Build a relationship with yourself. Learn how to sit with your thoughts, enjoy your interests, and create meaning without depending entirely on someone else's attention. When you become a source of comfort for yourself, loneliness becomes much less powerful. 3. Regret will eventually find you. Later life often brings more opportunities for reflection. With fewer distractions, memories can become louder. You may think about opportunities you missed, mistakes you made, relationships that ended, or words you wish you had spoken. You cannot go back and rewrite those moments. But you can change the way you carry them. Remember that you made your past decisions with the knowledge, circumstances, and emotional maturity you had at that time. Be careful not to judge your younger self using everything you know today. Regret becomes destructive when you use it as a weapon against yourself. When you look at your past with understanding and compassion, those experiences can become lessons instead of lifelong punishments. 4. Some people will leave your life. This is perhaps one of the most painful realities of growing older. Some people will pass away. Others will move to different places, become absorbed in new responsibilities, or simply drift away as priorities change. It is natural to wonder whether their departure says something about your worth. Most of the time, it doesn't. One of the mistakes people make is desperately trying to preserve every relationship, even when the relationship has naturally reached its end. With age comes the wisdom to understand that the size of your social circle isn't what determines the quality of your life. A smaller circle can still contain deep, meaningful relationships. You don't need hundreds of people around you. Sometimes a few genuine connections are worth far more than a crowd. 5. Your patience for drama will eventually disappear. As you grow older, you may find that you simply don't have the desire or energy to tolerate unnecessary conflict, manipulation, guilt, or constant emotional chaos. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. At some point, peace becomes more valuable than pleasing everyone. You may disappoint people when you start setting boundaries and choosing your own well-being, but that is part of protecting your life. You shouldn't spend your remaining years sacrificing your peace simply because someone else is uncomfortable with your boundaries. Learning to say no, walking away from unnecessary drama, and protecting your time can be signs of maturity rather than selfishness. 6. Accepting that youth cannot be recreated. One of the greatest psychological challenges of aging is comparing the person you are today with the person you remember being years ago. You may notice wrinkles, reduced strength, changes in appearance, or limitations that weren't there before. But often, the deeper pain isn't about the physical change itself. It is about what those changes seem to represent: lost youth, diminished attention, reduced control, or a changing sense of identity. The desire to remain young can become exhausting because the body will continue to change regardless of how strongly the mind resists it. We also tend to remember our younger years selectively. Memory often highlights the exciting and beautiful moments while quietly pushing aside the insecurity, stress, uncertainty, and difficulties that existed alongside them. Accepting aging doesn't mean you have to pretend that getting older is easy. It simply means you stop fighting a natural process that cannot be defeated. You may miss your younger years. You may feel sadness about certain changes. That's human. But acceptance allows that sadness to exist without turning it into a constant battle. Aging well isn't about defeating time. It's about making peace with time, appreciating what remains, and refusing to waste the present, wishing you could become someone you used to be.